Can also use K to pause. I hate technology.
Opinion, but I feel like this company is being used as a boogeyman. And people view this company, it's kind of like the World Economic Forum on a smaller scale, where like, I don't think the World Economic Forum is, actually the Illuminati in plain sight, and they're not actually trying to like, kill everybody and do all these things. They're kind of like a representation that people can see, and because people see this example of it, then they latch onto it, and they're like, these are the core people that are causing all our problems.
They might not be the core people, but they are still a symptom of the core people. And so to call out Sweet Baby for what they've been doing, and Ziz found a VOD where I called them out like in November. Founded in 2018, Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. I'm pretty sure I did something earlier than that because I remember talking about them when Alan Wake dropped in October. But the tags are hard to parse through sometimes. Both the World Economic Forum and Sweet Baby are demonstrably evil, but they are not the people pulling the strings, necessarily. They're the limbs of the Leviathan, yes. And if you do not fully cut off the Leviathan's heart, it will just regrow its limbs. Sweet Baby is a symptom of everything that happened during Gamergate. And unfortunately for us, we were too busy laughing at everyone being brain damaged during that time, and we didn't do enough to stop them from infiltrating absolutely everywhere. We make fun of the journalists who routinely bring up Gamergate, seemingly for no reason at all, thinking that it lives rent-free in their head, but in fact, they were fighting a war that we thought had already ended. They mention Gamergate, not because it lives rent-free in their head, but because it never stopped. We just started laughing at them instead of continuing to fight, unfortunately. Some of the Sweet Baby people are from Gamergate, like Lego butts. That's exactly what I'm about to get into.
I understand. I totally understand. Now, obviously, I disagree with like what their kind of like their goals are. I disagree with these because I find them to be antithetical to the nature of what art is. But of course, obviously, art is decided by the artist. I think the issue is whenever people feel like they have to do this instead.
They don't feel like they have to. It's a moral imperative to push this kind of stuff. They hate you. They hate Asmon, they hate me, they hate all of us who want to consume video games without ideology.
Sweet Baby is full of old Gamergate figures, most of which are ex-something awful goons. Unironically, they have spent almost 20 years networking in the industry to set up their grifts.
Yep.
They are gaming's biggest scam artists.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me how deep this goes, and like, I'm in the same boat of like, I was busy laughing at these people. I wasn't expecting this level of like insidious infiltration, I suppose. And so it's like I also slacked. And it's fucking awful that we are now at this stage, and I don't know how to correct now. That's why I keep saying people need to know about Bridge. Because if we don't stop Bridge in its tracks where it is now, and we do the same thing where we celebrate, have clap about our little DEI beating tiny victories, same thing's gonna happen that happened with Gamergate and Sweet Baby.
And these are people that are working at the company, and basically this happened I think 2 days ago. I didn't cover it then because I just didn't really think it was that big of a deal, but now it's definitely worth talking about. What ended up happening is that there is a Steam group, and there is a person who is looking for any game that used Sweet Baby Incorporated as a consultancy, and they wanted to put that in like some sort of...
To be fair, most of us never encountered this type of stuff before. No, but it's like people like me who are inundated with Gamergate stuff, people like Sargon who reported on it all the time. I was like, how did these people still manage to get a stranglehold? Right? Like somewhere we were slacking.
So anybody who goes into playing this game knows that, basically the people that made this game, like consulted this, like inclusion agency to try to tone down any sort of things that could be issues. It's basically like a, like on cigarettes where it says like this will give you lung cancer. It's like it's a warning label. It's really simple. And obviously, big surprise, the employees that work at that company are not happy about that. So what they're trying to do,
they don't like it when they get caught.
Is they're trying to look and get somebody who get all of their followers to come together and basically like. Come together and like, sorry, I got 2 hours of sleep, so it's a bit hard for me. Come together and mass report and ban the people that are running this different page to silence the people that are trying to hold them. Like, and I don't even understand the logic of this either. It's like if people disagree with what you're doing.
Well, I got they're starting something awful and met industry people from posting there. Yeah, that is true. But I mean, again, we had a ton of people calling them out when Gamergate first started and noticing the connections that they had. Noticing these connections to like different people in the industry. And someone with more powerful autism than I could probably figure out even more connections from all the people working at Sweet Baby, but like I said, I have a ton of tabs.
to disagree with it. I mean, if people think, yeah, I don't want to play this game because, you know, I feel like it doesn't have an authentic sense of art because it's being, you know, decided by people that aren't even making the content. Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty reasonable. And it's also like not that they're calling for harassment or anything else. But let's read the post. And this is a post written by an employee of Sweet Baby. This team curator harassment group, Sweet Baby.
And I'll bring up Chris's thread as well.
So that's where it is led by this person. Krampus Rambo. Here's them trying to be slick so they don't get reported. Even with the discriminatory language filed off, the group itself still fails the code of conduct. So it fails the code of conduct. Well, let's go ahead and let's read what is cited here. And
look at his tabs, man. Oh, you can't. You can't look at his tabs are like mine. I feel a sense of kinship.
Yeah, that's what happens. This is really what the problem is here. Is that you know, these people have no problem privating their own narrative. They have no problem privating their own Twitter whenever they're receiving negative feedback or they're getting criticized or whatever. And whenever people aren't okay with their narrative. But whenever other people aren't okay, whenever people disagree with their narrative, they immediately put themselves on protected mode and they exercise discretion in what they.
It's the same as like when you call out these people for doing a double standard kind of thing. They'll try to use your sensibilities against you because they know that you want to stick to your principles and they don't give a shit. By any means necessary is what this side will do. So it's like when I make some sort of a post about how Uki is experiencing and saying literal racist things against white people, people want to be like, but I thought you said it was okay to say the N-word. And it's like, yes, it is. The double standard is the problem. And I don't think singing the N-word in a rap song is racism either. You have to know the difference between what racism actually is and what you've been brainwashed to think that it is. And in addition to that, the things that Uki said, if I gave him the benefit of the doubt, would be entirely jokes, except what gives away the fact that he was being unironically racist, whereas the old couple saying hello to him and him getting upset at that, how dare white people talk to him, and him complaining about white people kissing in movies and how disgusting it is. Those are things that take into question maybe those other things he said weren't jokes. And it's like, it feels like these people are unable to understand that, and they're just like, oh, you just want everyone to be racist all the time. It's like, I don't want anyone to be racist. I want jokes to be okay, and I want no one to hate someone based on the color of their skin. That's weird, dude.
Curator should rename himself to Gentle Hugs for Sweet Baby or something annoyingly gay like that. They can't get mad for extreme positive sarcasm.
When I'm weaker than you, I ask for freedom because that's according to your principles. When I'm stronger than you, I take away your freedom because that's according to my principles. Yes. Yes, it's why whenever, like, any conservative person kind of fights back against the cancel culture and like calls out the people running harassment campaigns, they smugly go, but I thought you were against cancel culture. And it's like, well, yeah, but I'm gonna fight back if you're trying to attack me, you weirdo. Sick and tired of the safe edgy shit that the woke left pushed on the Overton window. The fact that it's okay and fun to be racist to whites and only whites is disgusting. I mean, you saw it again with the oh god, Ocean Gate implosion, right? Everybody was okay with making fun of the people who died in the Ocean Gate implosion because they were rich and so thus they deserved it. But you get this dumbass Air Force guy who immolates himself for Palestine, and then you have all these black people on Twitter being like, excuse me, don't say rest in power for him. That's exclusively for black people, and that's not okay to be using it for this guy. I was like, you're gonna tell me he immolated himself for a cause that has nothing to do with his country, for people who don't give a shit about him, and even the people who would support his cause that he immolated himself for are talking down to him because he's white and because they're using a phrase for him that they don't like. This man's life was essentially fucking worthless. Like, and people were getting mad, like when side scrollers posted like the videos and stuff on Twitter of like Melanie Mack and I being on their show together. Everyone was just like, excuse me, you're gonna have someone on your show that made fun of a veteran? It's like, well, yeah, being a veteran doesn't make you immune from criticism for doing dumb shit. What do you mean by this? Scorpion Fatality edit was hilarious.
Posted about how game companies should be made aware of what Sweet Baby tried doing to the Steam group. Had guys say we shouldn't use their tactics. Guys, it's not tactics. It's reporting a company because their employees are insanely unprofessional.
Not only insanely unprofessional, but they are the ones wanting to corrupt what we enjoy as a hobby. They don't want you to have hobbies. They want you to have no escape from the shit that they are pushing.
they want to see. But they don't offer that same ability for other people if they want to do that through a Steam page. You understand how this is effectively the same thing? Like, is you're allowing people to censor content, and I'm a big advocate of self-censorship. I'm a big advocate of it. I think that if you don't want to see something, you shouldn't have to.
I think he misspoke there, because, like, self-censorship means, like, you're censoring yourself, right? But I understand what he's trying to say, how he's just like, if you don't want to see something, just, like, block it. Don't interact with it. Then you don't have to see it. You don't have to ruin it for everyone else because you don't like thing. Just block the thing you don't like and move on.
I think that it's very problematic that this person is going to put out an opinion and then protect their account whenever effectively these other people want to protect their account by avoiding other opinions.
I would say it's more than that as well. It's not protecting them from seeing opinions. That's like a Twitter thing, right? These are people who are ruining IPs of long-standing video games and other sorts of media because they want to push an ideology. When it's a concerted effort to push ideology, it becomes more than simply an opinion. Asmongold doesn't like being wrong or looking idiotic. I mean, no one does. That's a human feeling, you know? Nobody wants to look like an idiot, and nobody wants to be wrong. And that's why in a lot of people, ego gets in the way and they can't apologize for making a mistake. I don't see that issue with Asmongold, but maybe I just don't watch enough of it anymore. Third World Tech Talk, thank you for the 23.90 mirror. Don't go into a boxing match where your foe can kick your nuts, but anything you do beyond pinching cheeks is a foul. To hell with the moral high ground. Yeah, I can't remember who I watched say it, but they were just like, a problem with people who want to take the moral high ground is the enemy you're fighting doesn't give a shit about that. They just don't give a shit. And if you're going to continuously not meet them at the line that they draw, they are going to keep gaining ground. Emperor Creatine, thank you for the $10. Don't complain about not using their tactics. They set the rules of engagement, so you have to play by those rules or you lose. The only way they stop using said tactics is to suffer them in return. That's why I love the people who are just like, oh, you wanna claim to be edgy? How about you say the N-word? And it's like, well, no. Because you're baiting me into doing something I think should be able to be done within context, because you know I will get punished for it under your rules. I was just like, oh, why would I do such a thing when I know what your rules of engagement are, you bad faith fucking actor? Do not fall for the optics trolling.
With a different sense of goals. So that's basically what ends up happening. And so anyway, even with the discriminatory language filed off, let's see if we see any discriminatory language. I'm going to see if I can find this real quick and go from there. Are people like this? It's very simple. People are like this because they are constantly told that they have the moral authority to act like belligerent bad people. And once you give people enough moral authority, they become tyrants. And that's just proven by all of human history.
And he's right. He's right, but that makes it even more confusing why he said he didn't think Sweet Baby was a big deal until this kind of thing happened. Right, like if you understand that these people are given a moral high ground and they believe that they're doing the right thing by corrupting media, why would you not want to call it out sooner until it goes literally off the rails? I don't understand.
Like, that's basically where I would start, is I would say, like, all of human history, and then specifically religion. So, yeah, that's basically it. And anyway, I'll go back and I'll see if I can find this page myself. Sweet Baby Ink detected. And I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can look it up. Because as I said before, guys, I do really like to...
Is that the rule and you're only following them, so it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander?
Okay, so this is a tracker, and we've got it right here. So this is it here.
I joined this group as well, but I don't know how many followers they're at now. Probably like over 100,000 if I had to guess.
Already 21,000 followers. So there's clearly a lot of people that...
Over 50K, 60K this morning.
So niche. In my opinion, I think it's actually quite niche. But I think it's more...
Did he say that caring about this was niche? Hold on, let me rewind.
I think it's actually quite niche. But I think it's more...
I go back
21,000 followers. So there's clearly...
I can understand why it would feel niche, because there's not enough people talking about Sweet Baby, just like there's not enough people talking about Bridge in general. But I don't think it's a niche issue to care about video games being corrupted.
But I think it's more representational of the fact that people are tired of having their narratives and stories in video games, and also other types of media, be handicapped and circumcised by people who are fucking weird, right? I could have used another...
Well, you don't need to be a nice guy to these people, they don't deserve it.
We've got a few of these here, and these are the reviews. And if you look at, for example, this is about a tracker for games involved with Sweet Baby Incorporated. So as we can see here, does anybody see any discriminatory, or sorry, let me make sure that I'm using the word correctly. Yes, even with the discriminatory language filed off, is there any discriminatory language or anything problematic here? I would say that there's definitely not. I think this is an extremely reasonable thing, and if people don't want to watch, like, you know, for example...
And I feel like I'm looping, but I said this about, like, it's basically what libs of TikTok does, right? Like, they're posting the credits of the game, the company credits. They're posting, like, the Sweet Baby Inc. website stuff. They're literally posting their own words and their own credits to show that Sweet Baby worked on these games. And then Sweet Baby employees are getting mad about it. They are posting publicly available information directly from the source. And yet somehow this is like vile harassment. Like,
example, like Bethesda, like all games that Bethesda made. You don't want to watch it and play in those games, like you're free to make a list of that. Why do these people think that they have the unique authority to remove people from
Because since they're trying to push an ideology, if you are collectively deciding to not consume their content, you are rejecting their ideology. And that's not good for them. They need to force you to consume this stuff. And I got a clip for that.
You know, give people stuff you know they want, so you can inject things that maybe they aren't familiar with, or maybe they don't know they want, but make them like that stuff.
What happened, my nigga?
Give people stuff you know they
I love Sayo. He made a good song during the hog leg stuff, and it lives rent free in my head. But it's like
want, so you can inject things that maybe they aren't familiar with, or maybe they don't know they want.
it's like they're literally telling you how they are being subversive with the IPs. We're going to give you something you want, like a new Spider-Man game, but we're going to put things in there that maybe you don't want, and you'll get slowly used to them because they're going to keep happening. You agree with this guy, except that make them like that stuff. You cannot make people like something they don't. These people think otherwise, and that is, again, part of the Bridge Initiative. With embedding DEI into company cultures and making it part of the job for everyone who works there, making it part of thinking of new products, how to sell those products, how to make those products, how to make those products available, the pricing of those products. They're also going to be trying to change consumer opinions. If consumers have no way of escaping this ideology, you must accept it. And eventually it will just become normalized.
And this is really what the problem is here, is that it's not enough for these people to have their own perspective and try to change narratives in their way. But whenever you say, no, I don't want to hear your narrative,
Why do you care? Why do you, it's changed. Why do you care? That's always the response. It's just like, well, you cared enough in the first place to change it. So what is this kind of rationale that you're trying to throw back at me, fucking weirdo?
how you're breaking the rules. These are people who were hall monitors in 5th grade. They asked the teacher, you forgot to pick up our homework in the 9th grade. They were trying to, do extra work in senior year and making everything more fucking complicated, telling for being on their phone. Like, these are professional hall monitors that add, in my opinion, literally no value to anyone or anything. And so, actually, that's not true. Not only do they not add value, but they actively take it away. It's one thing to just do nothing and be useless, but it's another thing to take something that's good and then ruin it, which is what a lot of people are accusing them of. Now, I do...
Well, like, again, if he knew this, if he knew that they are taking things that are good and that people like and they're ruining them, why not talk about it sooner?
I think that it's a legitimate concern, and it's actually true that Sweet Baby is getting kind of scapegoated in this problem, and I think that they are a symptom and not the disease. This is just...
No. They're not getting scapegoated because they're doing exactly what they say they're doing, and we are pointing this out. They're not a symptom of the disease. They are part of the Hydra. They are simply part of it, and that's why I have a million tabs on them.
Simply a massive zeitgeist that's happening in media right now anyway, and because they're the ones that people have decided are the ones that are wrong, then, well, now everybody's gonna be talking about them. That's it, yeah.
No, because Sweet Baby isn't made up of the true believers, quote unquote. These aren't people who have been propagandized and just push talking points they don't understand. These are the disingenuous liars who need to make more useful idiots to believe in their cause. Everyone working at Sweet Baby deserves no benefit of the doubt, no forgiveness. They are not worth thinking a second thought of. These are actually the bad actors that you need to get rid of in the companies.
Yes, they're not the only company for this, and it is definitely like kind of...
He's right though, they are not the only company, they're just the most prominent one right now.
Pretty much that. And so anyway, kindly report the fuck out of this group and report the creator since he loves his account so much.
This is also going to be important. Remember that this Chris Kindred, Sweet Baby employee, not only wanted to brigade the group and have people report the community Steam group, but they also wanted to report the creator's account directly. These people wish to harm you, and they don't care what they have to do or lie about in order to do it. And this is going to be important as we go down the Gamergate rabbit hole in regards to Sweet Baby.
So it's not enough for them to remove the, which by the way, I think they have no justification for doing so, but it's not enough for them, see, it's already gone up by 100 followers, literally in the time that I watched it. It's not enough for them to remove what they think is breaking the terms of service, and this is the problem with these people, is that they are vindictive and vengeful.
Yes.
They wield power not as a shield for, the downtrodden, but as a sword to hurt and attack the people who they think have wronged them. This is not about...
Not even to hurt and attack the people they think have wronged them, just people who disagree with them in general.
Protecting people, it's about attacking people and protecting them at any means necessary and going even above and beyond by trying to have their account banned. There's no risk of anyone's account being banned if we join in there? No, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I've no clue. Literal censorship, yeah. You're brave for speaking out about these people, dude? We need more people like you? I'm not brave at all. This is just a tweet. Who cares? What do you think? This is some kind of fucking bravery thing? Bravery is being a fireman, okay?
Well, while I agree that obviously there are people who are doing braver things, you take a risk by talking out against these people. And I think, again, Kiwi Farms is a good example of this. When they host information about people like Liz Fong Jones and they get relentlessly attacked and harassed for it, face like threats of lawsuit, they face crazy amounts of just like bullshit from these people. It's like you are putting somewhat of a target on your back when you shine a light on these people. They will try to strike back against you. It might not be immediate, but they'll try to find a fucking way.
Like, this isn't brave. And also, like, I'm preaching to the fucking choir here, okay? Everybody agrees with what I'm saying. It's like everybody's truing this. Everybody thinks that I'm right about this. Like, the only people that don't are people like this.
And it's unfortunate that the people like this, quote unquote, are the people who unfortunately wield power in the industry. That sounds fun. Which hornet's nest is the biggest? That's a good question. These are people who do not care if they shoot the messenger. You put a target on your back if you talk about them. Yeah. Was it me that posted that the other employee that also got into this was in cohort with Zoe Quinn for doxing of an event that was about helping female developers? I haven't posted about this because I've been saving it for stream, but yes, that is true.
That's what it is. Yeah, this is a basic fucking take that I think that 90% of people agree with. Yeah, I mean...
Has he not stopped to think that if this is a basic take that 90% of people agree with, why is it still happening? Why are these people still wielding so much influence over games and the game industry in general?
You know, the brave takes are the ones that everybody fucking hates me for, right? That's the difference. Of course, the censorship taint group wants to prevent people from finding out where they're involved, which is kind of ironic because only 1 or 2 years ago, companies were proudly announcing that they were working with these companies. You know,
they were proudly announcing because they got them good boy points.
Jim out from Minnesota and bring in George from Serbia to fight the good fight that needs to happen.
Yeah, Jim was instrumental in noticing stuff in Gamergate. Same with Sargon. I don't think I would be able to talk to any of those people, but hopefully some of them will bring up these noticing things as well.
In order to get special bonus good boy points. And now...
Not so much Jim, because he's dealing with cancer AIDS, but the other ones.
People are assuming anyone at Sweet Baby actually believes what they're saying. They don't. This is a scam. Company being full of XGG figures is smoking gun-proof fits about the finished a new video. Get hyped.
Yeah, I mean, they push this stuff because it's an ends to a mean. Or a means to an end. I can't English, I'm like Asmon. He just like me, for real. It's just like, they don't necessarily believe in what they're pushing. It's just the easiest way for them to subvert the landscape and bring more people into the Marxist ideology that they're trying to push. It's changed that a lot of the Gamergate people turned out to be grifters. I mean, I barely remember the names of anyone that I watched during that era except for Sargon and Jim.
They want to hide it and actively censor people who were talking about it in the first place. And I think that I think groups like this are great. And I think that whenever these people want to engage in culture war, I think that they should be absolutely expecting for other people on the opposite side to take up arms as well.
They should, but it's unfortunately considered harassment every time it happens. You bet V would help with the networking with me with Sargon? Sargon is adamant about never talking to VTubers or having VTubers on his show. That is, you will never see a VTuber on Lotus Eaters. V has tried. V has very much tried. Chris Raygun, Mundane Matter. Oh yeah, I forgot about Chris Raygun. I forgot about that dude.
A few minutes later.
Please don't be deleted, man. Thank God. Sweet Baby Inc. is sending goons to attack a pro-consumer community. And so you can see, I'm sure it's blown up a bit more now. This is the Sweet Baby Inc. detected back when they had only 10,000 members. If you're against Sweet Baby Inc., you are racist. Video games are not for right-wingers. Let's diffuse the situation. Interesting here. I know this group claims it isn't trying to kill Sweet Baby Inc., but this is exactly what will happen if you don't stop now. Where's the incentive to stop? I want Sweet Baby Inc. to die. I want everyone who works for Sweet Baby Inc. to no longer have a job. This is my outward desire. Do not hire these people in the games industry. Not all SBI employees are as unreasonable as that one random person on Twitter. They have actual jobs and families to support. It's not like they're hurting anybody. Please consider closing this group. No. Fuck you. You made this bed, now lie in it. If you're against SBI, you're racist. Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. SBI is only dedicated in the story part of a game. They don't work on the gameplay. So my question for all the anti-SBI people is, why do you think Sweet Baby ruins games? Isn't gameplay the important part of a game after all? The truth is, you hate Sweet Baby only because they add diverse characters. characters, people of color, non-binary, etc. Anything else is just a cheap excuse. Your curator list is as racist as if you made a list of games with black people in it. This group is against Steam rules and you should be taken down. Hopefully the moderation acts quickly. I'm gonna go back to when we were watching the Game Awards together. I was freaking out during the Alan Wake portion.
Alan Wake 2.
What? No! What the fuck? I am actually upset! How did this game win fucking anything? Oh my god! That's how you know this shit's rigged. This shit is rigged. This game deserves nothing but the trash! Oh my god! So because Alan Wake is a game with Sweet Baby credits that has been diversified and equityified into a way that affects the story and makes it bad. There were people who didn't understand that and tried taking me out of context. And there were also people who just saw, like, a different game. I can't remember what it was. They saw a different game that was being highlighted, and it had, like, a black... I can't remember if it was a black woman or a black man, but it had a black main character. And they were just like, oh my god, ESG. And I was like, you guys, black protagonist does not mean the game is an infected ideological, like, slop. If they're making a game around a good character, that's a good thing. And this isn't a AAA game, this is an indie game, and it looks like it has a reason to be the way that it is. It looks like an actual fun game. It's not changing the story, it's not being subversive. Here is Sweet Baby Inc. alternating between begging for forgiveness and threatening and insulting you. Decide. Fucking based grums, dude. And this is the Sergio post that we read earlier. Do not forgive these people. They care about you in a bad way, and they hate you. They know what they're doing. They deserve no forgiveness. They deserve no devil's advocate. They deserve nothing from you except ire and scorn. And that is what you should be giving them. And then I saw this, and this is what kicked off my digging. Here is Sweet Baby Inc.'s employee Lego Butts admitting to illegally DDoSing a charity event that was trying to promote women indie developers. This is who Sweet Baby Inc. likes to hire. And this is the fine young capitalist in an APG Nation. I almost fucking screwed that up and said AGP. Interview. Matthew Rappard of the fine young capitalist alleges that Maya Kramer, in coordination with Zoe Quinn, performed a DDoS attack on the fine young capitalist website. Maya and Quinn both confirmed that they are responsible for the downtime that the website received during this time. Zoe Quinn stated on February 28th, 2014, at Lego Butts, oops, we DDoSed something on accident. Additionally, Quinn said a few minutes later, I like how a conversation between me and at Lego Butts resulted in accidentally killing an exploitative startup's website. Maya Kramer replied on March 1st, 2014, at Zoe Quinzel, we exploded their site. Oh my god, us. And it's a wonder that this person has managed to work in the games industry at the time of Gamergate for 8 years. And now that's adding, what, another 10 years onto it, give or take? 8 to 10 years? They've worked in the industry for so fucking long, but because their main point is to drive ideology and not to create, but to destroy, they haven't actually made anything. I cannot name a single thing that this fuckwit has worked on.